After my unboxing last week of the First Quest 2nd Edition box set, I've kind of been on a 2E kind of vibe. I've really been inspired by all things 2nd Edition. I mean, that's the game that I cut my teeth on initially, even though my first few games were with 1st Edition. I dove headlong into 2nd Edition once I caught the role-playing game bug. Going down this rabbit hole has kind of rekindled my passion for 2nd Edition. There are many reasons for that, one of which is that I really need to listen to my heart of hearts. 2nd Edition AD&D gives me exactly what I need at a gaming table. It's really that simple. So much so that I'm beginning to write a home game rulebook based upon Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Thaco, or Thaco. I always said Thaco. How did you say it? Leave it in the comments. 2-hit Armor Class 0.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss an upload, and join the conversation over at the Agranak Cult Discord.
I saw a video the other day that really broke down Thaco, and possibly the reasons behind it. His name is David L., and he's got a couple videos on the subject, and I'll link to those videos down in the dungeon. Some of what he said I'm reiterating here. Thaco gets a very bad rap, usually because it's too much math. However, in a game like Pathfinder, having double-digit modifiers is not uncommon. 5th Edition was kind of sneaky on this, where they kept the modifiers relatively low, but they hid all the math in the high hit points and the damage. 5th Edition monsters have twice as many hit points as 2nd Edition, so all in all, it's still more math. Thaco keeps you doing single-digit math rather than double-digit math, making arguably quicker math, at least according to some studies. Though there are other studies that suggest that subtraction is still harder for people in general. But we're talking about simple math here. And of course, you have to decide what's best at your table. Most people aren't going to get on my bandwagon. I get that. Thaco is technically just simple math, going from -10 all the way up to a +10. Sure, 10 is a double digit, but we're talking about a nice round number. Most of the time, it's single-digit math. I get it. Thaco is still hard for some people. Like when DM Zoth tried to explain it to Dicebag Derek just last night.
Okay, I'll try and explain it again using these cards as a visual aid.
Okay.
2-hit Armor Class 0.
Hit.
Well, I mean like a melee attack.
Hit. Wait, I get it now. When you take a hit, it all makes sense. No!
Really?
Yeah, look. Taco. Yeah, take a hit. Get a taco.
You're really that dumb?
AD&D 2nd Edition is awesome. No!
Okay.
So I did some research and found the different ways that TSR tried to explain Thaco back in the day. How I've always done Thaco is how Old School Essentials explains it. Use the character's Thaco number and subtract the AC of the target, usually behind the DM screen, such as the character's Thaco is 14, the target armor class is 4, the player will need to roll a 10 or more in order to hit. I'd make that note and then continue with combat. The holy grail of OSR books, the Rules Cyclopedia, explains it in much the same way. The worst, ironically, is First Quest, which I reviewed last week. Get the book. How to attack. Roll a 20-sided die. Subtract the die roll from the character's Thaco number. If the result is less than or equal to the monster's AC, the attack hits. Why? That's horrible. If you find yourself getting First Quest AD&D 2nd Edition, ignore that. So bad. Let's look at the player's handbook. The first step in making an attack roll is to find the number needed to hit the target. Subtract the armor class of the target from the attacker's Thaco. Remember that if the armor class is a negative number, you add it to the attacker's Thaco. Pretty simple. Saying basically the same thing. And with how I do it, if there's multiple monsters, I'm making a lot of notes, especially if there are different monsters with different armor classes. And it can become a little messy in my notes. David L. points out that probably the best way to calculate THAC0 comes from this rulebook. It's out of the box set, the new easy to master Dungeons & Dragons game. That's a really weirdly long title. Anyways, I sadly threw away the box years ago, but I still got the rulebook. Let's see what it says. This game uses the attack matrix, but it gives as an optional rule THAC0. It says this: using THAC0 is often an easier way to remember combat roles. I think a lot of people got eye fatigue from looking at all the different combat tables that are out there for every class. You may love it, and that's fine. THAC0 stands for to hit armor class 0. The character hit roll table shows what a character needs to hit armor class 0. For instance, a first level fighter needs to roll a 19 or better to hit the target with armor class 0, instead of looking on the hit roll table for every attack. He only needs to remember that his THAC0 is 19. Whenever the fighter attacks, he rolls a d20 as usual. Then he adds any combat modifiers he gets, like bonuses for magical weapons or ability score adjustments. Finally, he adds the defender's armor class. If the total is above his THAC0 of 19, he has scored a hit. Note that negative armor classes will be subtracted from the roll, making them harder to hit. What a breath of fresh air. Seriously, this simplifies everything for me. I don't know, just that little tweak. So that's it. Your THAC0 is your THAC0. That is the number to beat. In my home game, I say you need to meet it or beat it. So the number itself is significant. And I say meet or beat for not only my clarity, but also for my players' clarity. This is how I would run it. Let's say your THAC0 is 14. You're making an attack, so roll that d20. Add your strength modifier, and then maybe any bonuses for, let's say, a magical weapon. Now give me, the Dungeon Master, that total. Simple, right? Much like 5th edition, at least from the player's perspective. I know. We're getting to the armor class, hold on. After the player's given me their total, their part is done. I tend to not divulge the armor class to my players. I will deal with that on my side of the screen. You could be transparent with the AC, in which case the player would then add the AC to their attack roll. In my experience, keeping the armor class secret and on my side of the screen is kind of a mystery and a secret to be discovered by the players. Plus, once they've figured out the armor class, they've kind of solved a mystery, and it makes them feel good. It's kind of a game within the game. You personally may not like that, but I digress. On the DM side of the screen, go ahead and to that total, add the armor class. You, as the Dungeon Master, have every single player's THAC0 written down behind the screen. At least you should. So do the final piece of math and let the players know if they hit or miss. Done and done. Why do I like THAC0 as opposed to ascending armor class like found in 5th edition? I like that it's weird. W-Y-R-D. From the Germanic word meaning fate, destiny, and linked to the Norns of Norse myth. Our word, weird, W-E-I-R-D, is pretty much the same word. It's where we get it from. It's linked to fate, destiny, things outside of the norm. When we say something is weird, it means it's strange. 5e with its ascending armor class is straightforward, to the point. It's not weird. I want mystery, strangeness, magic, and an esoteric, dare I say, occult sort of feeling in my games. Occult meaning secret or hidden knowledge. THAC0 facilitates that for me. I could never really codify it until recently. And the other dice mechanics found in 2nd edition, even 1st edition, and basic and expert also do the same thing for me. Like rolling under your ability score in order to succeed at a task. Or rolling 1d6 to find out if you found a trap. Or rolling percentile for your thief abilities. There's not one straightforward way to do everything. All of this leans into the weird, which is what I want at my table. Thaco has a strangeness that I kind of adore. To me, it's the game I want to play, which is why I'm returning home to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition and the weird system of Thaco. If you want to keep using Ascending Armor Class, obviously that's fine. You do you. I'm gonna do me. If nothing else, I hope that this video clears up any misconceptions of what Thaco is and how to use it. Alright everyone, thanks for stopping by Agranak Studios today, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.
This video was brought to you by the generous support of our patrons. Consider becoming a patron so you can help us make more content like this. Or get yourself a t-shirt below. Later. Alright, do this and do that and do this and do that. And watch this video.